Thank you for talking to FrankWarren.tv. We've just spoken to your man, Matt Skelton. He's confident, he's sure, and he's saying he's going to do whatever it takes, brawler or boxer, to beat Michael Sprott. What would you prefer to see in that ring?
I just hope he does exactly what we've been doing in the gym. You know, if he wants to box, we'll fight. If he wants to fight, we'll box. That's what we want to do. You know, I totally believe he'll beat Sprott earlier than before. He's in great shape. We've got a lot of good sparring. We've had a longer camp to prepare properly for it. It is a big fight for Matt, and hopefully if he comes through this, we can then obviously sit him on the platform with the world title.
I know you were particularly proud of the fact that after the last fight with Danny Williams, of the way that he boxed, that he moved, and I know that you'd worked really, really hard on it up until that point. How has training camp gone in terms of skills-wise? Has he been able to build on that?
Well, one thing about Matt is he is very skillful. If you see him on the pads, he's correct in his punching, he sits well, he can deliver well. It's just when somebody sticks it on his chin, he will have a good row. Mm-hmm. A lot of boxers can't row, they can just technically box. Mm-hmm. Matt can do both, and he can good think about a fight. He thought his way through the Danny fight well, and I just see he beat him easy. Is
it fair to say that in the fight, if it's not going Matt's way, that he'd revert to type, is what people say, that he'd just be coming out brawling?
No, I mean, we'll have a look at the first round, and then we'll assess it after the first round, what we want him to do in the second round, and we'll just assess each round as it comes by. If we see Michael's going, Matt will go in. If we see him strong, we'll go to angles. We can adapt to most things in the fight, so we'll just see round by round.
What are Sprott's strengths? What do you have to be wary of?
I think he's very mobile. He's very Joe Frazier-like with his body. I don't think he's a powerful puncher. I personally believe it was a lucky shot he hit Audley Harrison with. I don't think he'll ever be throwing that again. But he's got a lot of heart. He's been there. He's been a British, been a Commonwealth. He's an EBU champion. He has got a lot of heart, and he's a good professional. But I just think we got a winner in this camp.
Has it been hard for you as a trainer, knowing what your man can do behind the scenes and knowing just how well he prepares and the skill level that he has, when people turn around and just label him as a brawler who might be a little bit too old?
Well, I do get upset with that, because if they actually come down and saw what he actually did in here, and they didn't know his name, they wouldn't say it was Matt Skelton. He can actually box, and he can get on his toes, and he can move around, and we do it in the gym all the time. But if a guy's going to rough you up in the fight, Danny was quite dirty at times, then Matt will give it straight back to him, So you're there to win.
You've had a lot of boxers in your time. You've been around the fight game a long time. What is it about Matt Skelton that you're especially sort of proud of?
Well, the good thing about Matt is you don't have to ring him up and say go for a run. You know he'd gone for a run. You don't have to. He's at the gym before anybody. He's the last to leave the gym. He's tremendous to work with. There's whatever you ask him to do, he just won't complain about it. He wants more. And it's great to work with people like that who ain't moaning all the time. What
happens with your training camp between now? I think we're about 5.5 weeks out from the fight now. How does your training camp plan out leading to the fight?
Well, we've done about 60 rounds of sparring up to now. We're now going to up it next week. A different strategy of sparring. We're bringing somebody else in again, so it'll be one in, one out, to get the heart rate high, get fitter. And we'll do that for another 2 or 3 weeks. And then we'll taper off, going back through to the coaching and the speed work on the last week.
Thanks, Kevin.
No problem.